Hello. Sorry, the recording during the breakout session didn't quite work out for whatever reason. So I'm covering whatever was missed from the breakout room. So hopefully this helps out in terms of our trends and challenges in abilities management. So I believe we're on slide 10. And we talked about, the disconnect from work legislation that was proposed. I believe it's going through its second reading, so it may be enacted by the time you listen to this video. So keep your eyes peeled for the disconnect from work legislation in Ontario. So 5 absence and disability trends to watch out for. Now, this is a 2019 report, so keep that in mind. This comes from riskandinsurance.com. Things like employee engagement. It's not enough to have people, employed, but are we ensuring that they are engaged? Are they also aware of all of the policies and procedures? Also, are we giving them challenging work? Not overworked, not um, stressed out, but giving them the proper not only job, but tasks that let individuals use their knowledge, skills, and abilities. Are we giving supervisors training to supervisors, not just on the job, but the soft skills, but also empathy and emotional quotient? Are we supporting our employees by giving the supervisors training to better support their staff? Workplace diversity and inclusion. Is it truly diverse and inclusive? We see this on websites. I see it on websites that we are a diverse and inclusive workforce. We adhere to employment equity or affirmative action in the States. But are we really living up to those values? Are we truly bringing in people with disabilities because they have abilities, right? So I challenge companies to do one step further. Artificial intelligence, we're seeing this more and more in HR in general, robot chats. Instead of talking to a live HR representative, you're, texting, and what ends up happening is really you're talking to a robot chat. If things need to be escalated, then it'll go to a representative. But artificial intelligence can be used for things like recruitment, not just the HR on-call type of thing, but can we tap into this rich, diverse workforce using AI? And also dashboard matrix and determining, um, how many people have been off of work due to injury, accidents. Can there be some predictive models? If we had 10 accidents last year, do we anticipate another 10, or do we anticipate now 12, or maybe less, 5, because you were proactive and corrected the measure? We're seeing medical marijuana part of group insurance plans. It became legal in Canada a number of years ago. Now we're starting to see medical marijuana being approved by group insurance plans. Unions are actually starting to fight to allow, during the collective agreements, to allow medical marijuana to be incorporated in group insurance plans. 5 absence and disability trends that will shape workplaces in 2020. Well, when I created this course in 2020, this was, I guess, predictive. So now, are we seeing this in terms of the AI technology that I talked about, medical marijuana? What about mental health? Mental health first aid. Bell Canada has, and I believe it's the end of January, beginning of February, Mental Health Awareness Day. We're seeing a rise in caregiving. It's not just childcare, it's also elder care, right? But also at-home nursing. Does your plans have this as well? ADA compliance is really in the United States. Are we looking at, in the States, essential job functions? In Canada, we will call it functional abilities form. What the person can and can't do. Things like how many times you could, like how many minutes or hours you could stand without a break. Sitting, do you need regular periods of time to get up and do breaks? Just like standing, how many minutes and hours can you sit without interruption? Do you need accommodation for your desk? One of those desks that go up and down. Um, we talked a little bit about, a discussion about what were other trends that we're seeing. Here are some ideas like the aging workforce, which ties into the last slide. We're living longer, yay. Um, um, but with that comes additional health and wellness that we have to offer society, right? Um, we're also seeing the gig economy. What does that mean? Part-time, precarious workforce, project-based, contract. They're not full-time, basically. So when you're not full-time, you typically don't get any benefits. You don't get that group insurance. You don't get the life insurance. You don't get the long-term disability or even short-term disability. Now, do we have Employment Standards Act that protects you for sick days? Absolutely. We have various types of leaves as well, like emergency leaves. But when you're not full-time, you don't get the same benefits, and it's not paid by the company. It's passed on to us as the public, because when people go on sick or long-term disability, if they have enough hours, they'll collect employment insurance benefits. So that becomes a drain to our society. So I really want companies to stand up and start creating real jobs. And it's not that we have to have unions to force the hand. We need to really, as a society, look at how we're treating people. And the employees can be our customers. Look at Amazon, right? If we hear disruption at Amazon, they talked about unionization in the States. Aren't your employees or the employees' family or neighbors Amazon customers? So shouldn't you treat your customers and your employees right? Just thinking strategically. I don't know. Maybe it's a rant. I don't know. Automation in Zoom. So in the light of COVID, everybody's pretty much working from home unless you're an essential worker. Yay to my essential workers out there. With Zoom, like I'm sitting on the couch, not proper. Sitting is new. Smoking, eye strain. My doctor doesn't want me to have so much, screen time. So yeah, could you MacGyver it or do a bandage solution of getting, the glasses with the blue tint? Well, we need to think about this morphine of work from home and how it's impeding in our work-life balance. Is your house set up ergonomically? Can we give tips and tricks to our employees to help them with that? Other trends out there. Netflix has unlimited vacation. Hybrid models where people are coming into work physically twice a week. Can we change schedules for people? Accommodate, right? Help people out. Past practices and future predictions. Well, we're seeing an uptick in claims. I spoke to a couple of people who work at WSIB, but also Workers' Safety Insurance Board. But also I spoke with CAMH counselors who are fellow profs. And first of all, counseling, mental health, people are on this huge waiting list, which is so unfortunate. Because there could be lives lost that they didn't get the help and support that they needed. So we're seeing counseling being used more, other type of benefits are being used. So when you do the benefits and you look at the monthly reports, the experience rating reports, be it Sun Life, be it Workers' Safety Insurance Board, when you start seeing increase in claims, which is payout, always think of money in claims, and money, claims mean money, money means claims, because a case doesn't mean there has to be money involved in it, right? So when you see an uptick or a rise in claims, that means the premiums are going to go up. And if it's a cost or a co-pay share with the employee, then they have to pay more. So we have to be proactive in nature and support our employees, provide that safe environment. HR needs to truly have that open door policy. And we're also seeing an uptick in the rise of price point for prescription drugs. And so that also affects the claims and your experience rating. And then if you have a copay and the company pays 50% and the employee pays 50%, sometimes $100 or even $50 means I can't pay rent. It could mean people don't eat. So maybe education on, instead of going to an expensive pharmacy, go to a Costco if you can, or a Walmart, those type of things, right? Also glass centers, some insurance companies and certain benefits are basically put together in a way that you have to go to a particular center to get your glasses. So no more just free sunglasses, Gucci, right? Um, so less fraud. So less fraud, but also better usage means less cost, not just to the employer, but also the employee, because those days of getting 100% group benefits paid by the companies, far and few between. Unless you work for the government or some insurance companies, you're going to have to pay something. At-home nursing, telenurse, I cannot say enough about these wonderful telenurse individuals. At-home nursing as well. And does your plan cover that, right? Looking at-home nursing. Telenurse is through OHIP, so that's government, yay. So that's free. But do we also have something called Best Doctors, right? Best Doctors where, in the event, and I'm touching real wood here, you need to go to see a surgeon or a specialist in cancer. These Best Doctor websites will give you the best surgeon, right? Or the best care or the best doctor or the best hospital for whatever your illness, injury is, right? Self-care, that's where health and wellness, that's where you as experts come in. It's not just in your community or at a hospital setting, but also at workplaces. We're looking for that. I speak to HR managers all the time. Some of them are my students, and they say, yeah, health and wellness, it's definitely, we need that uptick, right? We're seeing more and more people that need it for not just from an insurance company, but us as experts. We need to come in. Everything from mindfulness too, right? Advocacy on long-term care, COVID-19 and the long haulers. And that's the other thing is if Workers' Safety Insurance Board, CAMH, has seen an uptick in stress, post-traumatic stress disorder from COVID-19, think about the long haulers, right? Are we supporting these individuals? Are the insurance companies going to have various types of caveats or clauses? Have you previously got COVID-19? Maybe you're not eligible in the future. You have to see what's happening with the government, with Employment Standards Act, your own group benefits plan, Workers' Safety Insurance Board, and see what changes happen. Because it's going to happen as a regular basis. As we see costs rise, insurance companies are going to mitigate their risk, and they're going to transfer the risk to us, either removing certain things or putting conditions on things. So continuously read your policies and procedures. Past practices and future predictions, I'm now seeing a 50-50 split of copay. What that means is, let's say hypothetically, the benefits for group insurance, which is your prescription drugs, dental, registered massage therapy, chiro, naturopathy, osteopathy, at-home nursing, so on and so forth. Private versus a ward room, which means 4 patients or more. Back in the days, it was 100% paid by the companies. And then as claims increased, experience ratings increased, and costs got transferred to the employee, it was 80-20 split. The company would take 80, the employee would take 20. So, that's kind of manageable depending on how expensive your plan is. But let's say it's $1,000 a month. And I've heard for a couple students, and this is 5 years ago, over 5 years ago, some of the companies are now going to a 50-50 split. If your premiums are $1,000 or even $500 a month for the company altogether, they're going to split that with you. So that could be $250 or more a month. That could mean, again, rent, not being able to pay for daycare, not being able to pay for food, right? So the essentials. So, this is not required by law for companies to have these group benefits in place. Will they get rid of them? You know, one thing I wanted to mention is Check Ignite. As a Humber College student, you may be already paying for group benefits and dental that you don't know about. So Cheryl has volunteered at the North Campus. She's one of my students here at Health and Safety. And, please reach out to her. Ask her, A, are you paying for it? B, what are you entitled to? And maybe you want to increase your coverage for you and your family. So look into it. See what you're entitled to, right? It's part of your tuition sometimes. Lessons learned on COVID. Well, what were the best practices out there around the world? Not just at our little microcosm of college, but what were the best practices around the world, right? Some countries locked down really quickly, some contained things really quickly. What was the government's intervention? How did we support you, the students? Thinking of tying now to health and safety course, if you remember hierarchy of controls, that inverted pyramid, the best defense is eliminate the risk. The last thing is PPEs, those personal protective equipments, which are the masks. Did we hit it right? Did we, contain it and try to eliminate the risk or substitute quickly? What are the policies for human resources? Was there a plan in place for COVID? What happens if there's a COVID version 3.0 and then a 4.0? We're seeing all the variants, but this is SARS, right? SARS was 2013. So could this happen again? And could it be swifter and more aggressive? Communication plans, was there constant communication for you? Not only as a student, but for those of you who are working. What about health and safety in place? Did they give you masks? Did they give you the right masks? Did they create those barriers, right? If you're a cashier, let's say at No Frills. Training, what training did they provide for you? It's not enough for you to put on the mask, but what about how do you communicate with, customers who aren't wearing a mask? These are things that you need to think of, and the proper removal of it. I mean, the first time watching people remove masks on TV, the government workers, other than the doctors, was like, let me put it in my pocket, and then just, it was like, mm, and it's disposal. Don't wash those blue masks. I've heard of people washing the masks. It's like, they're disposal. It even says it's disposable masks. Do not wash them. Don't wear them for a month, right? I laugh, but it's just international best practices. And, the personal protective equipment, those masks, it's not enough just to give it to the employees. What about customers, right? Think about the world. What did the world do? What else could we have done in general as a society, government, your employer, the college? What could we have done here? I think this is where we did like a little round table of how we support employees, to create this healthy and productive workplace. You could have incorporated COVID. You could have incorporated health and safety here, your health and wellness expertise, EAPs, employee assistance programs. There's so many. This is non-exhaustive list. This is a friendly reminder. Now it's past the timeline for your group presentation, or sorry, it's coming up. Week 13, confusing this, sorry, with health and safety. So PowerPoint, not a Word document. Please ensure your team leverages 2 references from the part 1 or part A of your assignment. Remember when you had to give me, 8 or 10 references? Grab just 2. Just 2. That's all I need, 2. I recommend quotes, air quotes, because now you demonstrate how you're applying academia to a particular situation. Pretend that you're presenting this to the president of the company. Pretend you're the health and wellness coordinator, health and wellness manager, HR manager, abilities manager. Um, if it helps you in terms of presenting it, think of yourself as selling it to me, right? Be a good, an early safe return to work, or if you're doing attendance management, or whatever your topic is. Pretend that you are the abilities manager and you need to get funding, a budget, some people from the president. So pretend you're going to present to me, pretend I'm a president for the day, and that you have to sell it, right? So you're going to use those two quotes to sell the benefits of return to work, and how does that apply to abilities management? Okay, so maybe it helps you to think that you are an abilities manager. So boom, I bestowed upon you abilities manager title. No pay though, sorry. Um, you can add additional information, but don't spend too much time. You already got the goods, right? You already got the stuff from part one. But if you have information, let's say from a company, be it Royal Bank, let's say, or even Humber College, feel free, throw it in. Pretend that you work for Humber College, pretend that you work for Royal Bank, and you feel that you want to add the company's value system to help support your message, or they have a policy and procedure. You can even add the policy and procedure to the appendix. You don't have to, but it's just options, right? If you plan on recording the voice or a video, so this is what I'm doing, is a voice and a little video thing at the same time. I think I'm at the corner. Please upload it on YouTube. Please put the website link on the front page of the slides, as well as on the comments section on Blackboard when you submit it. Ensure everyone presents. Names are on the front. Reference page, please. Cite those two references again. Only one person uploads for the entire team. And just as a friendly reminder, the team lead or whoever's submitting on your behalf, I'm going to ask that team lead who's doing the submission of your wonderful presentation, which I'm looking forward to. Please let your team know. If it's email or WhatsApp or however you communicate, just send them a little message saying it's done like dinner. Now, the person who is submitting, I just want to let you know I gave you 3 attempts. So don't panic if you use the wrong, document, or you uploaded a picture of Ryder or a horse or something, right? Don't worry, you got 3 attempts, right? And don't worry if you go past the 3 attempts, you just email me and we'll work something out. Don't worry, okay? But thank you for whoever is submitting for your team. I do appreciate it, and they do too. I know. I just want to give you a reminder to take the free training. It is through the Labor Government of BC. It's Introduction to Claims Management. This looks really good on your resume. Like, the more free education, I know you're doing exams and presentations and you're still in the program, but I want you to take as much free webinars, especially if you want to get into health and safety or abilities management. If you want this to be your profession, you want to bulk up your resume. And if it's still free, take advantage of it. But I know, finish your deliverables for the semester, maybe even the whole program, and just keep this in the back burner for when you're done the program. Okay? Because I've had a couple of students who have finished the program and they're now doing abilities management as part of their role. And they now want to pursue a designation and further training, and they reached out to me. So keep this stuff on the side for yourself, of things to do when you graduate, or things to do, when you have some breather time, okay? So don't panic. It's still free. I'm sure it's going to be free for quite some time, but keep your eye on what courses are there for you, because it looks great on a resume. And list every workshop and every seminar, and keep all those certificates, right? It'll help you. So as a recap, in terms of trends, challenges, I think there's a little bit of, doomsday, things are going up in price, and, less and less OHIP is covered, and the costs are being transferred to us. But I also think that technology is helping us. I think there's, some really great things from health and wellness. Um, and seeing this uptick in desire to learn more about health and wellness and incorporating it a part of human resources and health and safety, I think is a great thing. Um, I also think, the Fauci effect. They say ever since COVID happened and whenever there's a pandemic like SARS, um, you want to go back to school and people are learning more about epidemiology and the sciences and health and wellness. So I think that's a good thing, in sometimes this times of adversity, we're starting to see new technology that's helping us physically, mentally. There's the Headspace app from Humber College that helps with mental health. We got the 311, CAMH, Bell Canada. There's so many things that we're starting to see some positive. So, try to look at that aspect as well. Here comes Ryder. Came up, but I don't know if you saw it or not. Anyway, so discussion board, please complete because it'll be gone on the exam day, right? So it'll 11:59 the night before, gone. So it's worth marks. Please complete. Thank you as always. Sorry about, the breakout room. And have a great day.